What's going on, everybody? All right, still waiting on my motor to come back from the Nissan. Still waiting on the heads to get back for the Ranger. What's happening is they're having a little bit of a holdup on parts. Imagine that. The supply chain seems to be in somewhat of a disarray, but that's news to y'all. Anyhow, let's go down a little road called E.R.I.C. E.R.I.C is the Electronic uh, Registration Information Center. Okay, this thing here is used to organized and supposed to clean and clear different uh, parts of the. Now I'm going to stumble all over the place because of the fact that YouTube has a crip on words. So any of the new subscribers, please bear with me on the lingo. Just try your best. Let's go along with this. Okay, so let's take you down the journey of E.R.I.C. Numerous states have given private and personal information about their residents to E.R.I.C. The Electronic Registration Information Center, which is now has 350 million records on us. It includes all voter data, motor vehicle department info, possibly court and vital records too. Media outlets recently attacked TGP about the E.R.I.C investigation. They included personal attacks, again, about Jim Hoft, TGP, and others, okay? There are three parts to this, and if you'll look through my videos, you'll see where I did some reporting on E.R.I.C, first, second, and third. But we'll sum things up here. As usual, they make no mention of the concerns people have about E.R.I.C. So let's cover some of those concerns. And let's see if I can set this up here. So we've got, there we go, hands-free operation. Okay. All right. So E.R.I.C is just a tiny free-employee nonprofit. Why are they granted regular access to the detailed and private data of residents in 2/3 of our states? It's 350 million records. The lead organizer behind E.R.I.C in 2011 was David Becker, formerly from the DOJ and Pew. His career is filed with events and projects that help Democrats and purposely hurt Republicans. His DOJ ethics probes found that he despises conservatives. Why would anyone believe he designed E.R.I.C to be fair for Republicans? An honest bipartisan nonprofit would ban Becker from any involvement, but E.R.I.C provides him with a board seat that operates as their spokesperson. This includes recent attacks against the Gateway Pundit. E.R.I.C is supposed to help clean the V rolls, yet in 2020, Judicial Watch found 8 states where the average registration from the entire state exceeded 100%. That's an anomaly of all get out. And the okay, I'm sorry. And so these are the worst of the voter or the worst V rolls, and 7 of the 8 states are E.R.I.C members. Colorado, a founding E.R.I.C member, had 40 out of 64 counties exceeding 100% of the 158%. Why do E.R.I.C members have such dirty V rolls? That's part 2. Top leadership positions in E.R.I.C are always filled with left-leaning liberals. Some have worked for or have been associated with the Soros-founded groups, which this thing was designed and put together by an open society foundation that George Soros himself is involved in quite extensively. So why won't E.R.I.C install conservatives in the top positions? Let conservative control the levers of the power for once. Elections jurisdictions have laws and rules that force transparency, access to data, audits, dual supervision, and so on. E.R.I.C has virtually the same data, yet it provides no transparency at all. Why is E.R.I.C so secretive? Their 3-page fact documents was created about 2 weeks after TGP articles were first published. Why is my state outsourcing the cleaning of the V-rolls to a third party? Why can't my state's selection department, with all their expertise, file? Hold on a second here. Why can't my state expertise? A call came in and messed me up. Okay, why is my state outsourcing the voter rolls? Why can't my state's selection department, with all their expertise, full-time employees, and dedicated IT staff, clean the V-rolls themselves? E.R.I.C founder and its leadership has been hard leftists. How do we know the database or elections analytics are being provided in one way or another to top Democrat operatives? It's no secret the original and continued goal of E.R.I.C is to fill state systems with new V registrations. In the beginning, it was called UVR, upgrading V registration. Colorado is a 10-year user of E.R.I.C, and we see how Colorado is turning out, okay? And a good example of how things have played out, almost every county has now more registered Vs than residents eligible to V. But Americans and the E.R.I.C members to focus on cleaning their V rolls, not conducting voter registration drives. In 2016, E.R.I.C knew of the 25.2 million potentially eligible Vs who were not registered. This priceless data. This is priceless data, especially if you're trying to swing a selection to nefarious actors. Every one of these represents an opportunity to generate a legitimate blank paper to be used for selection. Okay, and E.R.I.C secures the transfer of files to the FTP server, and it's their place for straight to drop off, pick up files like Dropbox. So they have like in underground type thing where they move things around. Their short technical document is so generic it doesn't even mention the FTP process. What's unmentioned is a database. In fact, Executive Director Shane Hamlin said, raw data is never stored in a central location. All the V and MVD data, USPS data, and Social Security records must be analyzed in order to find deaths, moved Vs, duplicates, and so. This is why the technology department sending steps in. E.R.I.C is hired by IBM. Their brilliant scientist, Jeff Jonas, to build their data machine. In 2016, a spinoff of the previous IBM G2 software, Sensing has become a very complex software system. AI, of course, AI, artificial intelligence, using algorithms and relational database by SQL, SQLite, DB2, and to analyze data, companies hire Sensing to process data in order to obtain analytical and predictive insight. They've analyzed numerous sectors of society, including maritime shopping lanes, money laundering, and even casino-based counting. Sensing says none of your private data actually flows to Sensing. However, this suggests means that the data can be redirected to other databases, as some patents suggest. Excuse me, another Patriot burp there. So the whole premise behind this E.R.I.C was designed to help make things more efficient so far as keeping the V rolls where they needed to be, so far as people dying off, people moving, people that weren't eligible to V because of the fact that they've either had convicted felons or so on. Okay, well, what's happened is because it's only ran by three little individuals that are on the top of the liberal and liberal and democratic side of things, the demonic side of things, they're using this thing as a weapon. Okay. So other than the MVD and V data, what other states' data they have collected, felons, vital records, etc., is any prediction-based analytics. Another insight being derived from E.R.I.C data, who does Sensing share with Insight? Who at Sensing can access the database is those 350 million records, are the claimed Sensing tamper-resistant logs. I'm stumbling over some words here because these things I can't say them. Being used within E.R.I.C data center, yes. The logs can be provided to concerned SOS members. If not in place, can these type logs be implemented immediately? Has any geopatentable social media, credit card, and other types of data media been merged with E.R.I.C? We don't know. That's some of the stuff that they're still looking into. So I'm going to link the article in the description because it's quite a lengthy article. But what I'm trying to get out is, and I hope that it makes it to normal people, not normal, well, I don't mean that in a bad way, but people that aren't into, I hope this algorithm sends me off into fun algorithm land and somebody sees this video for the first time. Self-employed man here, got a family of two, working really hard to try to, make right what's wrong here. And what I'm exposing is some of the tactics that are used that just some people can't get how this all happened in 2020. They're like, there's no way that this all happened. They couldn't do this all. There's no way that it'd be a super coordinated effort to make people be able to do all this. They just can't see the whole the pyramid that was all to the top. So I'm really hoping that this gets to people and they can start coming around and saying, you know what, we need to look into things. We really need to take this a little more seriously, because this right here is this thing was all started by George Soros. Open Society Foundation. Just Google that, okay? And what you may want to do after that is look in a little bit more of George Soros. I can't say his name exactly because YouTube just gets all over me. But if you'll Google some of that, not Google, but you may have to DuckDuckGo about this man. But there's a lot of nefarious things this man has been involved with his whole life, which was even turning in his own You know, whenever he was alive during the Holocaust, and he was actually one of the people who turned in Anne Frank. That's actually came out here recently. That, you know, this has been held back information for years, but this leak came out through an administration of his, and this has been able to be proven that he was one of the people that actually turned in Anne Frank. Anne Frank was a very famous Jewish woman who was known for hiding in an attic for an extended period of time to hold out for the Holocaust to win away. And she was found right at the very end of it, and it cost her and her family their lives. And the reason why she was found was because she was told on by Swords Joros himself. That's the kind of man that's actually helping to run our selection process. So you need to, this is somebody that needs to be exposed. He's not allowed in certain countries. If he goes to Russia, Putin will have him locked up. Hungary, where he is from, has the most secure processes when it comes to people picking. Go imagine that, because he doesn't want that stuff happening over there where he's at. He goes around the world and buys up economies and takes these people's livelihoods, turns it against them, and turns them into slaves. He's done this in many countries. He's one of Hillary Clinton's right-hand man. So anyways, this is something that needs to be known about. And if you're in North Carolina, we really need to start calling. I'm calling the people too. Please call these people and start getting on to them about having things to do with this E.R.I.C system. So thank you so very much. I really appreciate you making it through this long video, but this is something that really concerns me. As much as I love covering the convoys and the freedom convoys, I want to make sure that people know that I'm covering the selection process to make people know, or to help get people information to know that this thing isn't going away. Thank you so very much. Thank you again for all the new subscribers. Lots of love, and I'll do my best. I'll try to read all the comments. I work full-time, 60, 70 hours a week out here. Got a wife and family. So if I don't read all the comments right away, please forgive me. Y'all comments are very important. I love to see the interaction. I even like seeing the trolls out there, because that gives me something to do. I can throw off on them. They don't bother me none. Anyways, thank you so much, everybody. Lots of love to all. We're going to save America. God is in control.